2414 is a podcast about finding hope and common ground through casual conversation. Like the friends on the road in the New Testament, in Luke chapter 24, verse 14, we want to walk away with more understanding that leads to more conversation as the journey continues. Thanks for walking with us.
Hey, welcome. It's 2414. I'm Dan. That's Shane. Today we have a couple of guests and first-time guests. This is awesome. So sitting diagonal from me, or is that catty corner? Kitty corner? How do you say that? Shane? Kitty corner?
Kitty corner. I always get it wrong. People
All right.
mix it up.
So across the table from me and next to Shane is Carissa. Hi, Carissa. Hi.
Hi.
And sitting across from Carissa and next to me is her sister, Ella. Hey, Ella.
Hi.
Today we're having a conversation about what it means to be a young person in Carissa's shoes. Are you wearing one shoe or two shoes?
Two.
Okay, two. That's good. So what it means to be a person in Carissa's shoes and what it means to be a person in Ella's flip-flops.
I don't like flip-flops.
Okay. Oh, new fun fact, Shane.
Do you like flip-flops?
All right. We're going to get to our question today in just a second. But we're going to hear from Carissa and Ella. They do not speak for all young people. They do not speak for all ladies, but they speak for themselves. And our goal is to hear different stories, hear people's perspectives, and learn how to walk together and love one another well. But first, we're going to do highs and lows. And the question of the day is, what is your go-to shoe or footwear, if any? Like when you're on a Saturday, you don't have any responsibilities. What are you going to wear on your feet? So
okay.
I'm going to go first because I never do.
Okay.
My low for the day or week or month. Let me think here. I did not sleep well the last few nights. And no particular reasons. I don't know. I don't know. I don't sleep well. I fall asleep quickly sometimes, and then at the least sound or disturbance, I wake up and then I'm just up. And then I think about the fact that I can't sleep, and then I'm anxious about how tired I'm going to be, and then the next day I'm just super tired, and then that spirals. So poor sleeping has been a low. One high is our friend Kevin came over, I guess yesterday evening. He had a new game, and he wanted to teach my kids a game. So it was like a dice, hockey, statistics, not trivia.
What?
I know. I'm really selling it here. He found this. How do I know how to describe it? It's not like fantasy.
I don't know how you describe anything. Fantasy now.
It's not like fantasy football. So it's the sports game. All right. It's a hockey game where there's a piece of paper that has all the players on each of the NHL teams. Okay. And so you draw two teams, and then there's this whole rule book where you're just simulating a game with dice. So you throw the 3 dice, and one of them tells you how many minutes have passed. One of them tells you if there was a scoring opportunity, and then you roll it again, and you see who the shooter was, and you roll it again to see if it was a shot versus a save, and you roll it again, and then more minutes have passed, and it's a penalty. And you're just sort of simulating a hockey game and creating your own statistics and enjoying the love of the sport.
Based off the odds.
Yep. So you're creating is it a line sheet? Like at the end of a baseball game, they've got the line, innings and hits and errors and runs.
Oh yeah.
You're simulating the game metrics with dice.
Sounds complex.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. So Kevin came over, spent an hour 15 minutes teaching Micah primarily. Then my youngest son Titus is just watching over the corner, correcting us. So that was a lot of fun. Now on my feet at home, it's going to be nothing or like flip-flops, like by default. I usually have a pretty mean tan line 12 months of the year from flip-flops.
This is like indoors?
I don't wear anything indoors usually.
So wait, this is
like if I'm getting the mail, if I'm going to the grocery store, going to Costco.
Okay.
I'm going to just slip on some flip-flops.
Okay.
That's normal.
Okay.
Although running shoes are there a lot, but that's just incidental.
Well, yeah.
So flip-flops.
That makes sense.
All right, Shane, low, high, and what's your preferred footwear on the weekend?
Yes.
What a great question. Thank you, Ella.
I think my low for the day, Lauren and I just went grocery shopping yesterday, and it was either last night or this morning. We just got like adult vitamins. Woo. Really fun night.
You don't know if it was last night or this morning?
No. It was. No. Sorry. I'm saying the sequence really poorly here.
Okay.
So no, they are. we got adult vitamins. I don't know. We went grocery shopping, got vitamins, whatever. And
is it Flintstones?
I don't know. It's like
10
some
million strong
random
and growing.
brand.
Did anybody have Flintstone vitamins? 10 million strong and growing?
I never watched a commercial.
All right.
No.
All right.
Sorry, you're on a league of your own.
Okay, sorry. Adult vitamins.
Adult vitamins. And I realized,
is this your high or your low?
I'm getting there. Right. This patience, okay. So I realized like last night or this morning as I was looking at Lauren's vitamins, it has like adult vitamins 50 plus on them.
Ooh,
and I
geriatric vitamins.
I accidentally picked out the wrong vitamins for Lauren. Mine are normal though, so I feel extra bad.
So you get like gender specific vitamins?
Yes, yeah. For her, and for
she's
him,
got these like perimenopausal vitamins.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I feel bad. And like neither of us want to go back to Fred Meyer and return them. So we're like, so we looked up like, can you take them?
It's fine. It's all runoff anyway.
It's just over like amount of what you need anyway. Okay. So I don't know. My low is that I feel bad that I got Lauren. I picked out Lauren's
crazy amounts of calcium. If she starts growing horns, we're gonna know why. Okay.
Sorry, Lauren. And then my high this weekend, Lauren and I, there's this thing called LEST, Lutheran Elementary School Tournament, something like that. I might be getting it. I don't know. But that took place this weekend, and Lauren and I helped adjudicate for that. So we got to
adjudicate.
Yes, that's the word they use. The adjudicators.
All right, Ella, you're good with words. What does adjudicate mean?
It's basically like judging, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds fancier though, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were. That's what we were doing. We were just judging like kids, like
judging kids. I mean, like your face.
Well, not that hard, but we had to judge like on the performance, how they sounded, how they sang, and it was really fun because we were kind of intimidated, scared going into it. But like knowing like we're adults and we're professional musicians surely can't like be that daunting, and it wasn't. Like we were the professionals in the room, and like we got to give criteria and feedback, and gave them a score, and so we did a choir, solo singers, like small group singers, kind of criteria. And
did you have like a good cop bad cop thing? Was one of you the nice one? And
we both like had equal amounts of like praise and feedback, like good job on this, and then we said work on these things, and then we give a number, and then they hand out ribbons at the end. So that was that was fun.
All right.
Yeah, and they did a good job. So footwear, shoe wear, whatever that I would wear like casually, is that it?
Yeah, on a Saturday. What's your go-to?
Yeah, I would say Vans. I've come to really like Vans because
that's a brand. Is that also a style? What do you?
I'd say it's a style too. Yeah, they've got an iconic look.
Okay. Do you call those loafers? What do you call those? They're not tennis shoes, are they? They used to be skating shoes,
I think
right?
They're still technically that. Okay. Skateboard shoes. I don't know. They've got a look. They've got a style to them, and they're just really like easy to like put on, take off, and they're just comfortable too to wear all the time. All right. So Vans, shout out to them. No product placement here.
Yeah, we are not sponsored, but if they would like to, we would sell airtime for sure.
Yes, this episode was brought to you by Vans. No.
All right, Carissa, a low, something that's been not so great in the last 10 minutes or day or week. What's been a high, something that's been good and positive and worth celebrating. And then on a weekend, if you're going out to the mailbox or the grocery store, what are you slipping on?
I don't know if I have a low this week, really, but my high was probably my basketball game that I had on Saturday. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
What position do you play?
All of them.
Chase the ball. Does everyone play all the positions the whole time?
Yeah, usually.
That's what I'm picturing.
When did you start playing basketball?
When I was in first grade.
Okay, wow.
So what grade are you in now for context?
Yeah.
Fifth grade.
Okay.
So 4 years. Wow. How did the game go, by the way, too?
It was good. We won, and that was really fun.
Nice.
Did you have any moments that you were especially proud of?
Well, I made a basket, and that was good because I haven't made a basket in the season yet.
Okay.
Nice.
Big day.
That's really... So that was your high
Yeah.
basketball game?
Does your team have a name?
Yeah, my team name is the Wings.
The Wings. Okay.
Awesome.
And no lows, nothing. Your sister didn't annoy you.
Not really.
You got all the food and yummy things you wanted, and none of the things that were gross.
I don't know.
You got to read everything you wanted and sleep in as long as you'd like.
Well, that was probably one of my lows, is that I have to get up early a lot, and that's hard.
What
that's
does
not fun.
early mean?
Like, maybe like 7:30 or
Okay.
8.
Okay.
That's early to me.
For a school day or every day?
Yeah, usually for school.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Waking up's always hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, we certainly have a sympathetic ear in Shane here.
Yes.
He feels it. I think when we have like staff prayer in the mornings, 9 out of 10 times Shane's going to say like, God, thanks for getting us out of bed and give us energy we need for today.
Listen, I'm thankful for all the energy I've got.
No, it's real. That's a good thing. All right, so Chris, it's a Saturday afternoon. You're getting ready to go out to I don't know, the mail. Do you get the mail?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you wearing on your feet to get the mail?
Usually I do just put on flip-flops because they're the easiest for me to get.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm a fan. All right, so across from Carissa is her big sister, her older sister. Which one sounds better? Do you say you're her older sister? Her
Yeah,
big
I
sister?
say older.
Okay.
Older. Okay.
Older sounds, I don't know, more mature. All right, so Carissa's more mature sister, Ella. Ella, a low, a high, and what are you wearing on the weekend?
Yeah,
On the feet.
a low's probably just stress, I guess.
Okay.
And then a high would be that we didn't have school today.
Yeah, President's Day.
Yeah, so we're recording this on President's Day, which I don't really know the history of. I know we have presidents.
Shout out to my man, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah.
What's the occasion for President's Day? Just way to go, executive branch. You're doing it?
Wasn't
Sure.
it the day Abraham, isn't this like George Washington's and Abe Lincoln's birthday or something like
I
that?
think
That can't be true.
Combined several that were in the month of February and just like made one day, and it's like it's
Happy birthday,
President's Day.
presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday, presidents who were born in this time of the year. We get a day off of school for you.
Yeah.
You November birthdays, who cares?
It's like I don't know. What's the way I can say it? You're thankful for the teacher or the person in charge. They're like, hey, we're appreciating you, and in
Okay.
return, they're like, hey, you get a day off.
I should try doing that more.
I guess I don't know.
Okay.
I'm making it up.
All right. You said stress is low. Anything specific or broad categories?
Not really.
Okay, like political stress,
No.
or like you're just really worried about the elections already,
No.
or like sibling stress, or you got home repairs. The roof is stressing you out.
No.
Just kind of
Okay.
collectively everything.
Yeah.
Life as a
Makes sense.
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's real. Thanks for sharing. So you're going to get the mail because Carissa's still sleeping. So slipping on flip flops doesn't sound like it.
No, I like Converse, but they're expensive, so I like off-brand Converse.
Off-brand Converse. I'm picturing so Converse used to be like a basketball shoe mainly. No,
It's not anymore.
did it used to be?
I don't know.
Okay,
It used to be.
all right. And I
Only
never played
noticed.
basketball. My friends didn't
Oh.
let me play basketball with them
Oh,
because I played hockey growing up, and whenever we would play basketball, I would push them. And they're like, you can't push me. I was shooting. I'm like, that's why I was pushing you. like that's a foul. I'm like, that's just good defense. And we didn't see eye to eye. Let's just say it that way. We didn't see eye to eye on how the game should be played. Because in hockey, you can hit people, and especially if they're distracted by doing something else, all the better. But not so much in basketball. All right. Well, so before we get to hear a bit about Carissa and Ella and their stories and their lives, we're going to play a quick round of Wheels versus Doors. Gruner girls, have you played Wheels versus Doors before?
I don't
No.
think so.
Okay. Neither have we. Well, I've played once.
well, not like actually.
Right. So what I'm telling you is we're not actually going to play the game as it's designed to be played. We're going to adapt to the podcast here. So what's going to happen here is I have a card with 6 things, 6 items on it. I'm going to read you those 6 items, and your job is to guess which of these is the most and which of these is the least. So which is the greatest and which is the fewest. Okay, most, least, greatest, fewest. Okay, so I'm going to read them, and here we go.
Okay, here
Number
we go.
1, I'll read them a few times. Number 1, citizens in Belgium. So that's like a country over by France. You could.
It's small.
So fun fact about Ella. Ella, can you give us a fun fact about maps and you?
I used to be able to draw the entire world. I don't know if I can draw it all, but I can label a good portion of it still.
And when you say the entire world, you don't just mean like a circle with a label that says Earth.
No, all the countries.
All the countries, not just like here's kind of a rough shape of North America and South America and Central America.
Like I could do all the countries of Europe and label them.
About how many countries are there in the world?
Over 200.
Okay.
So like even the ones that Americans and myself wouldn't know as well, like Tajikistan and
Yeah, most of them.
So
There's some small island groups that I don't remember as well, but
like okay.
So you at one time, at least you know when you were on your game a year ago or so, you could draw by freehand and label all 200 plus countries in the world.
yeah.
Shane, do you think you could name 50 countries?
50?
50.
Oh, you could set the bar a little high.
I'm starting I got to start somewhere. Do you think you could name 50?
Yes.
You hesitated. I don't know that you can.
Maybe someday we'll put it to the test.
Where would you put it if we were outbidding each other for prize?
I think I'd say 100.
No.
30.
No, I don't think you could do 100.
120. There.
All right.
I'll lower it. 120.
Right. After
That's my guess.
I will buy you a dessert if you can name more than 100 countries later.
All right. This is
Carissa,
somebody take note. who's
yeah,
listening.
Carissa, how many countries do you think you could name?
Probably like 30 or 40.
That seems like a
maybe.
reasonable guess. I think that's more honest than Mr. Shane's. All right, so back to our game. So number 1, citizens in Belgium. So how many people live in Belgium? Number 2, millionaires in the world. Ooh. So citizens in Belgium, millionaires in the world. Number 3, the amount of money in dollars paid for Leonardo da Vinci's diary.
Cool. All right.
Number 4, pounds in weight of the U.S. Navy Gerald R. Ford battleship. So how many pounds does the Gerald R. Ford battleship weigh? Number 5, money, U.S. dollars required to buy a new Bugatti La Voiture Noire. Is that a car?
It's a car.
Okay.
I don't know what
A new Bugatti La Voiture
It's an
Noire.
expensive car.
It
I'll
means-
say that.
It means the black car in French. And then number 6, descendants of Genghis Khan. So, which are there the most of? Citizens in Belgium, millionaires in the world, U.S. dollars paid for Leonardo da Vinci's diary, pounds in weight of the U.S. Navy Gerald R. Ford battleship, money, dollars required to buy a new Bugatti La Voiture Noire, and number 6, descendants of Genghis Khan. We're going to make Shane go first. Shane.
Oh, thanks.
Which one do you think there's... I'm going to write your name here. Which one do you think is the most of? And then which one is going to be the least?
Okay.
Do you need to see the card?
That wouldn't hurt. But slide the answers
Yeah,
on the
I can't
back,
look at
so
the
it's
back.
it's sensitive. Okay. So let's say most
Okay.
or no least.
Okay.
Let's go least.
Yep.
Millionaires.
Okay.
Let's try it.
And what do you think is the most?
Most. Let's say the cost of Leonardo's diary.
All right.
For the most.
Leonardo da Vinci diary. Do you? Well, let's let everybody get a guess before we
Yes.
hear your reasoning. Carissa,
Okay.
what do you think there's the most of? What do you think there's the least of?
Probably the most of. I'm not sure.
I don't think Shane's sure either. If that makes you feel better.
Probably. I'm just gonna say citizens in
Okay.
Belgium. I
Belgium.
don't think that's right.
Belgians. All right.
Could be.
That's good. And what do you think there's the least of all those?
descendants of
Genghis Khan. Okay, Genghis Khan descendants.
Okay.
All right, Ella, which is the most, which is the least?
Okay, for most, I would probably also say Leonardo da Vinci's diary.
Okay.
And then least... probably millionaires.
All right, millionaires.
Yeah.
I think the most is going to be the Gerald R. Ford, the Navy battleship.
What if it was a little like rowboat?
Then less impressive. And I'm going to say the least is Belgiumites.
Belgiumites.
All right, does anyone want to make a case for their answer? Ella, you said Leonardo da Vinci is the most, the sale of his diary, and there are fewer millionaires in the world. You feel confident?
No.
Okay, good. Carissa, what do you think? Are you confident in yours? No? Are you confident in Mr. Shane's?
I don't know. It's kind of just guessing.
What?
So.
All right, Shane.
Yes, this is advanced.
Why don't you
guessing.
reveal some of your wisdom of why did you pick the sale of Leonardo da Vinci's diary as the first, the most, and then the number of millionaires as the least?
Well, it's a toss-up between the Bugatti, because that's got to be expensive. But it's a super historical item. Like that's got to sell for
I bet it's
a pretty
millions.
penny.
I bet it's millions.
It's gotta be
you
millions.
think it's like tens of millions? I bet it's like 4 million.
I bet I would say tens of millions.
Okay.
For it.
All right.
Yeah, and then millionaires. I think there's a lot of millionaires, but
I bet there's tens of thousands of millionaires at least.
or I bet there's like a million millionaires, something like that.
Okay, here we go. The great reveal. Ooh. Okay, this is hard to do on the fly. I'm just gonna
one at a time.
do them one like in order. From from the least to the smallest.
No, just from top to bottom.
That's complicated.
Okay.
All right.
Do it however you want.
Here we go. The greatest one of them all is number 4. Pounds in weight of the U.S. Navy Gerald R. Ford battleship,
which is
213 million pounds.
All right. Not a rowboat.
213 million pounds. I'm going to circle that. Award myself 1 point. All right. The next biggest item on the list would be number 2, which was millionaires.
Oh no! Oh no!
So there are 56 million millionaires in the world.
That's a lot.
56 million millionaires.
Okay.
The next item down is number 3, which is the amount paid for Leonardo da Vinci's diary.
Oh, I was up there.
30 million. 30 million
That's still a
800,000.
lot.
So so 30, almost $31 million.
Practically won.
That's 3 out of 6. That's right in the middle. That's maybe C.
Okay.
All right. Next one would be number 5, which is the money in U.S. dollars required to buy a new Bugatti La Voiture Noire, $18.7 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a
car.
$18.7 million. Next one down would be the descendants of Genghis Khan at $16 million. I'm not sure how any of these things were figured. Science, probably. Science. Mathematical reasoning and data. Okay, and then the smallest one, number 1, citizens in Belgium, 11.5 million.
Oh my. Well, all right, we'll have someone.
And that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's today's show. We did it.
Well, thanks. That's
awesome. I'm gonna hang this from my microphone cable there, and just get like a whole collection of.
We'll have to review footage, see if there's any tampering here.
That's incredible. I was so wrong last time we played on like everything. This feels like redemption.
I feel like because there was something in French, you could read it, and that just gave you the confidence boost.
It did. That's right in my wheelhouse.
Well, speaking of French,
What is
I don't know.
Shane's got this gift of making transitions more awkward than they need to be. It's like a spiritual gift.
It's a spiritual gift.
All right, I don't know what it is. So our goal today, those of you who are listening are maybe wondering why, and our goal today is just having a conversation with Ella and Carissa. They are younger than me, younger even than Shane.
Wow.
Chances are they might be younger than some of you. Maybe they're older than some of you. But we so value community and the fact that differences can be really good, and we have different perspectives and different experiences. And I think on our last episode, Shane, we were talking about how taking the time to hear people's stories has been so rewarding for us. And as a pastor, I get to do that at weird times. I especially get to do that when people die. Like, so somebody dies, and then the family tells me about them as we prepare for the funeral. And so often I'm like, that's such an amazing life. Why did we wait till they were dead to celebrate some of their experiences and just talk through their life? So today our goal is to just get to know Carissa and Ella a little bit. No agenda. We're not getting towards some like, so therefore. It's just more, hey, young people are strange, especially to older people. We don't know how to talk to each other. And maybe you don't know how to talk to older people. They certainly don't know how to talk to you. And so Mr. Shane and I just wanted to sort of bridge that gap and say, hey, let's try this. Let's have a conversation like people, even though we're different.
And there's value. There's so much value in conversation.
Yeah. So I have some questions to get things going. These can be, they could probably be like one-word answers, but I'd love to hear more of the story behind them. So, Ella, where were you born?
I was born in Washington, I think in Bellevue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, do you know the name of the hospital? Or maybe it wasn't the hospital.
No,
were you born like in the I don't know, bathtub? And
No, it was a hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
do you remember anything about that?
No.
All right. Isn't some of your family from Colorado?
Yeah, my dad's family is.
So how did he or your family get to Washington?
He moved up here after college, I think.
Okay.
I don't know why, actually.
All right. And mom's from here?
Yeah, mom's from here.
Like SeaTac or Bellevue?
Yeah, I don't actually
Thought
know.
she was from Snohomish.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Snohomish.
All
Yeah.
right. Carissa with the saves, Snohomish. Carissa, where were you born?
I was also born in a hospital, but it was like a different one from
Oh.
Ella's. Because,
We moved when I was
yeah.
like 3 months old.
yeah.
Okay.
That must have been hard for you.
Yeah.
So you don't remember much, or obviously, so.
I don't think there's
you
any
didn't spend
memories.
a lot
those
of
first-
time in Bellevue.
Yeah, the only house I know is the one that I've lived in now.
Oh, cool. So I'm assuming that's the same for you then, Carissa.
Yeah, I've
right?
lived in the same house for my whole life.
And so you were. Do you guys? Where do you guys live? Is it?
Tukwila.
Don't
Yeah,
make it weird,
Tukwila.
Shane. All right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not the whole address.
Tukwila.
Tukwila. Okay.
So you lived in the same house. So, Shane, how many homes did you live in as a child, or like before you left the house?
Just two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were in the same town. Like you just kind of moved across town. Is that right? Or
No, well, yeah, it wasn't a big. It was, I think, similar to Bellevue to Tukwila. I was born in Milwaukee, which was like the city, and then we moved out more into the rural area, but still kind of close-ish to the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lived in one house, kind of like you, Ella, when I was little. Although I was more than 3 months, I was probably a few years. It's a really weird thing. I bet I was. I should ask my dad. I bet I was less than 4 when we moved, because I have like 1 or 2 memories, which is a strange thing to have, like a memory of a place that I know conceptually I lived there, but I don't actually have many memories. But the memory I have, like I was like walking and talking, so it's like it's just it's a weird out of context thing. Anyway, so I lived in one place for a little bit, and then I lived in the house where I grew up from probably 4 until about 17 years old. And then we moved to Virginia, and I lived in an apartment for like 9 months, and then I left the house. Anyway.
So basically, one
house. One kind of real house my whole life.
Yeah.
All right, Carissa, do you have any pets?
Yeah, I have a goldfish, and then we have, I think, 2 salamanders now.
Oh, cool.
I'm allergic to, like, anything with fur, so it's hard, but I love animals, so I wish we could have more.
So if you weren't allergic, what would you want to have?
So
I would like to have a probably like 5 cats or something.
You guys want a lot of cats? No. Does that include like birds, or is it just like mammals?
I'm not sure if it's birds or not. I
Okay.
just know I'm allergic to like cats and dogs.
We could do like a in-house allergy test next time you're on the show.
In-house
We
allergy.
could just bring in this parade of animals and see how you react.
That's the way to do it. That's
I think it'd be good radio.
all right. Well, let's ask their parents for.
All right, fine. So one gold, and you said you have a goldfish. It's not the
Yeah.
family's goldfish.
Yeah.
It's your goldfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also have my goldfish.
So you have
So
your
you-
own goldfish.
Yes.
Are they in separate tanks or the same tank?
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
in separate
That
tanks.
seems smart.
But my dad has to clean it because I don't know how to.
Oh.
I worked at a deli when I was in high school, and for years I never learned how to clean the deep fryer. So, Carissa, you're on to something. If you don't know how to do something, that might serve you well.
That is a life skill.
That's a
unto
life
itself.
skill. So, Carissa, what is your goldfish's name?
Comet.
Comet. Ella, what's your goldfish's name?
Moria.
Moria. Like the mines of Moria?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's a black moor goldfish. so-
Yeah, it's actually like completely
Yeah, it's
black,
black.
but kind of also
Wow.
like goldish.
So it's
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, deep darkness. They dug too deep, and now they've unleashed an evil on the world, which is what most people think of with goldfish. How did you come to the name Comet, Carissa?
I don't know. Well,
So
before
fast.
I got my goldfish, I wanted a comet goldfish, which is just like the kind of fish they feed to like turtles or
Oh
something.
no.
Yeah, chum. All right,
Oh.
just the baked
Yeah.
goldfish. Okay.
But
Wasn't it also your basketball team name that year?
well, that was like before I had known what the name would be. But yeah, that was also my basketball
Okay.
team name. So I thought of her as like the like mascot of my team.
Nice. So you each have a goldfish, and there were 2 salamanders. Are those more family pets?
They're dad's pets.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys don't take care of them.
No.
No, not really. But
Would you? Oh yeah.
sometimes I find worms for them because that's what they eat.
You can just give them wild worms.
Yeah,
Like-
we just find them and then just like take like tweezers and then feed it to them and they'll just like eat 'em.
Do they swallow it whole?
No, they like have it stick out of their mouth and they like slurp
Like a
it.
spaghetti noodle. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's
Amphibian
amazing.
spaghetti.
Well, first they like kill it and they like whack their head like a lot. And then,
I can picture like a dog shaking a bone or something, or a
Yeah.
stuffed animal.
They're brutal to worms.
Awesome.
yeah.
So what are the salamanders' names?
Well, I'm not sure which ones are alive still, so I don't know.
That's fair. We don't name the fish in our house, or I don't name the fish in our house for such a reason as this.
How old are the goldfish?
My goldfish is like a year and like maybe 1 month, I think.
I think yours is like a year and a half.
Yeah, maybe like a
And
year
then
and a
mine's
half.
like a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
They're doing pretty well.
We had goldfish at our wedding as part of the centerpiece. So there was a bowl with a fish and like a candle floating on top.
Like your centerpiece or everyone?
No, at every table.
Every
And
table
then it
had a
was like,
goldfish.
and you get a goldfish, and you get
And
a
you
goldfish.
sent them home with goldfish?
We may have returned some of them, but I think we sent many of our guests home with goldfish, and it was a sad day when we got news like that the last one had gone to its eternal rest.
That's asking a lot out of your guests. And you guys got to decide who's taking this goldfish home.
There's a life at stake here. So,
no.
Ella, are you similarly allergic to pet dander?
I am not.
So,
Yeah.
is it Carissa's fault only that you don't have a cat or a
No,
dog?
it's also mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad and I aren't.
Okay.
Okay. So both of you. So it's split between the equal
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
family.
Do you resent them for that?
Just a
A little bit.
Well,
That'd be kind of sad if you're like, I'm not the one who sneezes.
Yeah.
Take a
but
Benadryl.
We have friends that we frequently cat sit
like
for.
she's at her house right now. the
Yeah, right
cat.
now. So
The cat is. Does it
But
have to get
she's-
secluded like in a separate room?
She's technically hypoallergenic, but Mom
But-
and Chris still have allergies to
Yeah.
her.
Whoa,
So
okay.
She has to stay downstairs and I have to take allergy medicine a lot, but I still like sneeze a lot.
Oh, wow.
So if your mother and sister weren't allergic, and you could have any pet or no pets, Ella, what's your preference?
Like one cat, or we used to have guinea pigs, which
Yeah.
I barely remember, but
Dad says
I would like that again.
Yeah, Dad says if we're not allergic, then we would definitely have a guinea pig.
A guinea pig.
Ooh.
Shane, you ever have a pet?
Well, I had a cat.
Okay.
Like back at home, but that was like, well, we had cats kind of like
Just outdoor.
cycled through 'em, I
Cycled
guess.
through.
They were outdoor cats.
Okay. Very fluid part of the family. Loose associations.
Yeah, they lived their own lives, but we, took care of their basic necessities.
My elementary school, various classrooms would have a guinea pig, like a class guinea pig that we'd take home every now and then.
Would you guys ever do a like mouse?
No.
No.
Mom hates mice. Like, she says she's really allergic to them, like, more than most.
Allergic to the mice. yeah. Now, what about a rat?
No.
Because sometimes rats are actually kind of pretty, like the big white ones with
I
long
want
tails.
a rat.
Mice are too small to me. They scamper too much. A rat almost seems more like manageable.
Rat seems a little like it's just like a
It's a dirty word.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do a rat for that reason.
To me, mice like hide though. Like once it's out, it's gone. Like you're never gonna find it again.
Unless it's like in your fridge.
oh no! How did it get there?
That escalated quickly.
As if it was like looking for something.
Unless it's
Yeah.
in your
Oh.
fridge. All right.
Like you didn't put it there, but
Okay, well, that brings me to my next question. If you could only eat one dessert for the rest of your life, I start with Ella here. So think about it. Like, you can have dessert. You don't have to have it every night. It's not like you have to eat it, but you had dinner and I'm feeling like a little dessert tonight. Well, you get the dessert that you chose that one time when you were a guest in 2414. What's the dessert you're going to have the rest of your life?
Some sort of ice cream.
Now, this feels like a loophole, Shane.
Yeah, it
How's
is.
the loophole?
Do we
'Cause-
do we pin her down on one flavor of ice cream, or is the category of ice cream count as her one dessert?
I think
we gotta pin her down.
it's a yes and. So like yes, technically you're right, but like
If there's only one flavor of ice cream,
Yeah. Either like mint chocolate chip
Ooh.
or cheesecake.
I had cheesecake ice cream yesterday at Cold Stone.
Nice.
It was really good.
ooh, those are good. I like those.
Carissa, same question.
Probably like Oreo cheesecake, because that's one of my favorites.
Ice cream or Oreo cheesecake?
Oreo cheesecake.
Like, so there's a cheesecake with Oreo toppings, like on the
Yeah,
crust.
but it's also like there's chunks of it in it, so it actually tastes like it.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
one of
making
my
me. This is making me.
I know.
hungry.
This was a bad idea.
Bad
This
idea.
was poor planning for
Terrible.
3:46 in the afternoon. I'm already hungry. All right, what about you, Shane? If you had one dessert for the rest of your life,
Man, I could have been more prepared for this.
that wouldn't be true to the show. I don't think.
wouldn't.
This is unscripted life. That's the whole point.
I'm so bad at favorites. I think my default.
He's really squirming over it.
I am. This is hard.
By the way, I'm not going to enforce this in case that
I think
wasn't clear.
you've probably asked this before, and I've just done the same thing.
Yeah.
But I really like zingers. They're a Hostess treat. They're Twinkies with frosting.
Does that have the squiggly line on top?
Yes.
And are they
Well,
yellow?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm a fan. I'm
Yes,
a fan.
they are so good, but they're a little rich. I also really like just ice cream in general. So if I had
Yeah.
to narrow that down,
Yeah.
last night I had a caramel vanilla Tillamook ice cream, and it took the top. It just was
Okay.
so good.
Okay. When you said those zingers, it made me think of those like zebra little things that are like octagons or hexagons.
Yes. Zebra cakes.
Maybe they're called zebra cakes. They're fluffy. Those
Yeah.
are good. I think I would probably just go with vanilla ice cream.
Just
Yeah, that's not my favorite ice cream, but if I had to have it forever, I couldn't do something extreme like sea
That's
salt
true.
caramel. Like I would be
Yeah.
so sick of it. But I think vanilla I could do to the end.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hard. That's a hard one, man. Oh.
Okay, Shane, let me throw it to you.
Okay.
I've been asking all the questions. Do you have a question for our friends here?
Oh yes. Well, what was the most
Any question you want. You don't have to go. You know.
I'll stay true.
Okay.
I'll stay true to kind of our questions here. So, yeah, what was the most recent movie you guys watched?
Carissa, most recent movie.
We watched a movie last night, but I don't remember the
It was
name.
The Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's old
It's-
school.
Yeah, like 1986.
Yeah.
It's like
Sci-fi.
sci-fi, yeah.
That's old school.
I'm the odd one out here. I have not heard.
Is that where he's like playing the video game in the arcade to begin with? No, that's something
No,
else.
no.
right?
That's War Games, isn't it?
Oh, maybe so. Yeah.
I think that's what you're thinking of. But Flight of the Navigator?
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know it, or I guess you don't know it anymore?
No, clearly
So
it's escaped.
So what's this movie about?
Well, it's kind of like there's a kid and he like is looking for his brother, and then he like falls and then like wakes up again, but it like 8 years have passed, but he looks the same, but like everyone else is older and everything, and they're trying to figure out why he like is the same age
Okay.
and everything. And then there's this like alien spaceship.
Yeah, he was abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't see that
I
coming.
didn't see that coming at all. I was like, how does he become a pilot? Like in this No.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, and then
What?
they like get like star charts from his brain or something,
Okay.
and then he like flies the ship and like has to get back home to like the real time. That's kind of it, I think.
All right. Ella, what did you think? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Did you cry?
No, I don't cry at movies.
Never.
No.
You never have?
Was
Like, never,
Was
no.
there like an emotional reunion in this movie where like dad was like, "I'm not crying, you're crying"?
Not really.
A little bit, but
Really? When?
like when he first reappeared.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. There was some feeling and emotion there. All right. All right.
What about you?
The last movie I saw?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, so here's the thing. I haven't gone to the movie theaters for a long time.
Oh, is this?
No,
I didn't think this-
that's
okay.
not that.
Okay.
But so this I talk about running on every episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so recently it's been raining a lot, so I'm running on the treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're running for like 3 hours at a time, several days a week, I'm just burning through movies right now. So I feel like I've watched so many in the last couple weeks.
You don't remember the last one you watched?
Okay, so one I watched, it's probably not for all ages.
Okay.
It was like an action shoot 'em up movie
All right.
with
Yeah,
just
so-
sort of like car explosions and
So it was
chases.
just it was just action,
Just like
Hollywood.
Yeah, just a dumb 2 hours of chasing and shooting.
Okay.
So I don't even remember what it's called right now,
That's fair.
but I laughed.
Yeah.
Although what I've realized recently is running on a treadmill is dangerous because sometimes there's like a car scene and they'll swerve around something and I'll like swerve on my treadmill a little bit and then almost fall off. I was watching documentaries on ultra marathons and the same thing happened. There'd be like a trail runner and so they're running down the trail with the camera and they're like jumping over logs and I realized I was jumping over the log too, just like kind of intuitively, and then they would turn and I would almost fall off the treadmill. So I was like, all right, I can't watch running things on the treadmill anymore.
Oh wow.
So that's my learning. Shane, what about you? Any movies recently?
Yeah, I'd say most recently, that wasn't last night, but the night before that, watched Oppenheimer.
Ooh,
Finally.
how did you access that?
So
Is it streaming somewhere yet? Or you
I'm
rent
going to
it?
make sure. So saw it on Peacock. I'll say
Okay.
this so the Peacock higher ups don't hear this.
Yeah, okay, cool.
No, I mean, or like we had it because with Xfinity, with your like internet service, it was provided. That expired, but we still have it somehow.
Okay, all right.
And it only works on our TV. It doesn't work on any other platform. So as long as it's signed in on our TV,
Okay.
we can have Peacock.
So Oppenheimer.
Yes.
So real
It's a good-
laugher, kind of date night.
It's definitely not a kid friendly movie. it's about the creation of the atom bomb.
Okay.
And but it's a Christopher Nolan. So Christopher Nolan is a very deep director in the way he creates movies. So it's a thinker too. So
Okay.
it makes you have I wouldn't say an appreciation of it, but like you get such an insight on the moral dilemmas kind of that went into
Okay.
the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
So
All right. So transitioning from film to book, I don't know about you, but I have a really difficult time remembering the book I finished because I'm already so into the next one. So, what are you currently reading, Ella? And if you remember with the previous one, like extra credit, because my brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah, so right now I'm reading The Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare. It's a play.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really funny. It's a comedy.
Is that the inspiration behind that local movie?
Yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. That's awesome.
So what's the basic plot line of Taming of the Shrew? And the shrew's a bad thing, right? That's like
it's
like a person.
Yeah, it's a girl and she's just like uncouth and like Yeah, she's just angry and yells at people and is
like a teenager.
Like a jerk?
Yeah, she's a jerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
A jerk of a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm. And then
uncouth.
Yeah. And then she has a younger sister who like everyone in the town likes, but the dad knows that if the younger sister gets married, the older sister's never going to get married. So he says that the older sister has to get married before the younger one can. And so then like a bunch of the people plot to get the older one a husband, and then she gets married off, and then her husband tries to quote unquote tame her. So she's the shrew. And
so it's not like make her civilized to get her married, but it's once she's married, now they have to tame her. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's just about like his antics going through that.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's very comedic.
Okay. Nice. Why? I once saw The Two Gentlemen of Verona, which is a Shakespeare comedy, at a Shakespeare festival out in Williamsburg, Virginia, and I laughed so much. That was a delightful show. They had the dog on stage. I'm a big fan of live dogs and live theater. What could go wrong? Yeah. All right, Carissa, what are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading a book about like memory. So it's like how to memorize stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting so far. It's like one specifically for kids.
Okay. Is it using like kind of memory palace stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
My brain can't do that. I can memorize, but memory palace things I've not been able to. Shane, does that make any sense to you? Memory palace?
I don't know what memory
Carissa,
palace is.
how would you tell Shane like the basic concept of a memory palace?
Well, it's kind of like where you like find a place like in your house or like somewhere you go a lot, and then you like imagine different, like if you're trying to memorize a speech, like the words that you find like something that like almost like an object, like that you can think of that word, and then you have them like in different places as you walk through wherever you like decide to do it, and then you can like helps you memorize it more.
So Shane, you could think about like where you park to your office. So you got your red car out there, and now the first point of your speech, you think about like red tulips, and so you imagine them planted by where you parked.
And so it's associating that thought with
so
something
then
to help you remember.
Then you speak on that, or you recall that data, and then the next thing you do is you're walking through the parking spots, and those yellow stripes, in that stall you see a giraffe, and then now that giraffe reminds you of this other thing.
Wow.
And then you get to the front door, and next to the front door, you've placed your imaginary umbrella that reminds you of this other thing. And so you find like a space you're really, really familiar with, and you have sort of action and vision items that you leave as like breadcrumbs along the way. Is that sounding right?
Yeah, I used it to memorize a passage from Lord of the Rings, and it worked super easily for me. Like I could memorize 2 paragraphs a day.
But you did it like here.
I did it here. Yeah. I did my memory palace
at church.
Here at church.
Yeah. So I wonder, for me, I've been memorizing things for so long. I wonder if like I just have either unique habits or even bad habits that it's hard for me to learn a different way. It's like piano. Like once you learn it a certain way, it's hard to unlearn it, like better form. So I think I might have just my form is stuck. So you're reading a book on memory palaces and memory for kids. All right. Do you have goals with that? Like Ella memorized some Lord of the Rings passages?
Not really. I just think it's interesting. So I wanted to read it because Ella got them for like a project she's doing for school, and so I used them when she was done.
Okay. Shane, I don't want to like put you on the spot following Carissa's memory palace, but Mr. Walter, what are you reading these days?
That's a good question. Well, don't be like Shane. Shane's not a good reader. I'm not a great reader.
You don't have to be a reader, by the way. It's okay.
No, I'm not. But there is a book I've been meaning to start. My mom just got for me very recently. It's called Unholy Night, and it's a fictional book. I can't remember the author's name, but he wrote Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. So he takes historical.
Are you familiar with this, Ella?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
So he takes, and he's written other books similar to that, where it's like a historical figure and then this really goofy premise, like what if? And so he takes historical fiction.
Okay.
But in this one, it's on the birth of Jesus, and it's what if the wise men were actually criminals on the run, and they, they were like convicted of murder and theft, and they run into Jesus, and they.
Okay.
So, it's sitting on my shelf, and I haven't opened into it yet, but I really want to because, I want to get something to a good book to be invested in. My mom highly recommended it. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Yeah. I got so many other questions here. We don't have time forever.
I know. I've got one.
Yeah, go for it, Shane. By the way, you girls doing okay? Ladies doing okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is delightful. I'm so enjoying this.
I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite subject of school that you like the most at the moment? And I'm not saying like that you. I don't know. I'm sure it can come. It can change. Like I like this more at the moment, or I like math more, or I like science, or. But for you, is there a particular favorite subject of yours?
You want to go first, Carissa?
Yeah, I think probably art because I really enjoy doing it. And that's probably my favorite.
What kind of medium are you working with right now?
Well,
or what do you prefer?
I don't know. I like painting the most. Like, I use like acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, because it's easy.
That's what Bob Ross uses, right?
I don't know.
I think maybe he does
so.
oil.
Oh, maybe so. All right. What is acrylic? I know what watercolor is.
It's just like,
Is it gooey?
well,
Yeah, it's thick.
kind of.
It's opaque.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just on a like white canvas, or is this on paper?
Yeah, usually I just do it on cardstock.
Okay. And is painting your favorite, or do you like, I don't know, like...
Well, I also like drawing, but I just like any kind of art, really.
So for subject, do you like to try to recreate something out in the real world? Like, that's a tree, I'm going to draw this tree, or I'm going to imagine swirling colors, or I'm going to paint an ogre. There's I don't know what the different categories are. There's some that's just like abstract expressive, and there's like I'm capturing that, and others I'm just kind of creating.
Yeah, well, for like our CC, for our co-op, we do like studying different artists, and we do their different techniques.
Oh,
so we
cool.
did like Picasso and Georgia O'Keeffe, like different famous artists.
Okay.
I don't know if I really have one type I like. I just like doing a lot of different things.
Are there any good art museums around? Have you been to any?
Seattle Art Museum's really good.
Okay.
I went there with my dad a couple weeks ago.
So I grew up in St. Louis, and then I lived in Omaha for a while, and both of those places had free art museums, like just world-class art, and it was free. And so when I lived in Omaha, one of the things we did as a church is we called it Art Talk, and what it was is we had a limited group of people, maybe 12 or so, and we would go look at one painting for like 90 minutes. And I had an art student who was with me. And so I would give some of the world history that was happening around the time of the art. And then she would give the history of sort of the the artist or the kind of art, the composition and stuff like that. But we would look at sacred art. So then we'd talk about, hey, this is this picture of David holding the head of Goliath. And so we'd like read the text and talk about it. And so it was this thing of like Christians and non-Christians could come and we just look at, hey, what was going on in the 1200s? What was this artist doing? What, informed this painting? And by the way, here's the story from the Bible that they're trying to capture. And it was super fun. And I missed doing that. But anyway, maybe I'll go up to Seattle sometime.
There is also the Glass Museum, but it's a little different than...
Yeah. That's cool, though.
It is. But it's not terribly, like, historical.
It's true.
Kinda.
I find that hot room, or whatever they call it, where they're making the glass, is so relaxing. It's just like... like it's warm. There's like slow melting glass, which is just very peaceful. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Carissa. Yeah. What about you, Ella? Favorite or current preferred subject?
That's a really hard question for me because I genuinely love all of them.
Yeah.
I really enjoy debate. We're doing team policy debate this year, so it's very structured, but I enjoy that. And it's debating about like a policy. One team is saying that we should change the policy and the other saying that we should keep it the same. And you just find a lot of evidence from credible sources and debate about it. I enjoy it.
Is there a current policy you're looking at?
Right now, we're doing that one team is arguing that we should reduce the amount of temporary work visas issued each year in the United States.
Okay.
Wow. And are these like competitive debates?
Yeah, it's just within our community. So I have a partner and then we have an uneven number. So then there's 3 people on the other team.
Oh, okay.
One of the things I remember I never did like a formal debate club or team in school, but we'd have, class assignments where that was a thing. I remember how like the teacher could just sort of randomly assign sides and then you immediately became so passionate about it and the other people were so wrong. And like 10 minutes ago, I didn't care. But now that it's an us versus them, it was like scary how divisive that could be. And
how easy it was.
Yeah, how easy. Like this thing I didn't care about. Like now I'm like over my cold dead hands. Are you going to take this thing away? And like how the other people felt like wrong or like stupid or like it's so obvious that they're not seeing this right. And yet if the teacher had assigned it differently, I would have been the same thing on the other side. It's like this Lord of the Flies. It scares me how easily I can take a side and demonize other people. I don't know. Like you guys have like this Christian co-op where you love each other.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. do you still feel that in the room?
Yeah. Like last time, my team actually argued both sides, but both times I was like, the other side's wrong, even though I had just argued for that side and won the argument for that side. And so it was just really interesting.
Does Ella, how old are you?
15.
Okay. So you're not voting at this next election. Not legally anyway. So does that experience at debate, like, do you have it, like, how do you feel? Like, what's your perspective going into this political season where, like, it seems to me like many adults just kind of lose their minds? And yet even in your Christian co-op, you have kind of experienced that. Like, does that shape how you watch this election cycle at all?
Yeah. It's just interesting to me to see the kinds of arguments that people use when they're trying to say that their side is right, because oftentimes I've found it sounds good, but sometimes it like uses bad logic or is just purely out of emotion and not from anything rational.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's one of my least favorite times as a culture. Like, at the same time, like it's such a beautiful thing that our country has that other parts of the world, can't even imagine the freedom and having a voice. And like, these are beautiful things. And yet I just like viscerally, I get so uncomfortable around people taking sides and demonizing other people's thoughts and motives. And I don't think most people are trying to ruin America. Like I think we can disagree. I think we can be passionate and care about stuff and genuinely disagree of seeing different things as more important. But like it doesn't make people my enemy. I don't know, like. But I don't know what it's like as a young lady in America who's not even voting. If you're like, that's just what it is, or like, I don't know. What do you think about like the grown-ups these days when it comes to this kind of stuff?
I think it's kind of sad that it can't be more respectful between disagreements, like, and that it seems like people don't want to empathize with other people, and it seems like they just get locked into I'm right and you're wrong, and so we can't talk. And I just think that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Do you ever have that with your sister?
Yeah.
Like it's hard. Like it could be like a stupid thing of like, what game should we play tonight? And it's like, I want to play this, but I want to play this. And like how hard and slow it is to say, help me understand why you have that perspective, and I'd like to share my perspective, and can I set aside what I would prefer for the sake of something else? Like it's so hard.
It's hard, especially when emotions are high. Like it's almost like things you'd like, like during a like debate or argument, like it's easy to look back on, but in the moment, like the way your emotions can control you, it's just
Yeah. All right, we are like the clock is ticking here, and it's but there's so many other things I want to like ask and share with you. Can I jump like just to like kind of swing to another question here?
Yeah.
Kind of out of the blue. All right. What do you wish grown-ups knew about you or people your age? So when I was a kid, Will Smith wasn't an actor yet, and he was a rapper. And he had a song called Parents Just Don't Understand. But whether it's parents or older people, or maybe it's like me as pastor or Shane as worship leader, of like people in your life who care, what are our blind spots about what it's like to be 15 or 10? What do you wish people of a different generation, or some 80-year-old listening to this? We've got a lot of 80-year-olds in our audience listen to the podcast. What do you wish people of a different generation knew about what it feels like to be a 15 or 10-year-old today in your shoes?
I don't really know. I don't know if there is anything that I can think of.
Do you think like parents and grandmas and grandpas and other people at church, like they get it, they understand?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, that's fair. What about you, Ella?
I think this is probably more of like a thing that's specific to me.
Yeah.
But I tend to be really quiet, and I feel like a lot of people take that as that I'm disinterested or don't want to engage, but most of the time I do. I just am uncomfortable actually engaging.
Yeah. So being quiet doesn't mean disinterested, doesn't mean cold or uncaring. It's just, it's kind of hard to meet one another in a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there contexts where that's easier for you? Like, is a big crowd helpful because it drowns it out and you feel like you can, have a voice, or like maybe one-on-one is way better because it doesn't feel like a noise? I prefer one-on-one. Yeah.
And it's easier if I already know the person I'm talking to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shane, what about you? Do you like chit chat or talking with strangers, or besides scheduling a podcast, how do you have good conversations? Because by the way, you don't know this about Shane. Maybe he's weird.
Weird.
He's weird from
weird.
He's very. I say weird. Shane's very different from
there.
me.
I'm just
Shane, Carissa, is really good at talking to strangers. I don't like talking to strangers for the most part. It's hard. It takes so much energy for me. But Shane will come back on a Monday and be like, oh, guys, I met this person at this restaurant. I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, what does that fill you up? Or how do you Like you make new best friends every other week, it seems like.
Yeah. I'm still learning about myself, but I do like social engagement and interactions. Just where, it's just, I love learning about people. Like just, I don't know, like I love hearing their stories, and I don't know. A lot of times I feel like now's the time as good as any. I want to hear, like, I don't know. I don't always want to per se just like talk about the weather or like other things. And I don't know. And like, I don't know, the setting I'm at too helps, because I think some people are more open to telling their life story and getting to know them than other people. But I don't know. I really enjoy just hearing people's stories. I don't know, like getting to know them. To me, I celebrate the fact that we're different, and that's okay. So Shane's not better because he likes talking to strangers, and he's not just a weirdo, even though I said that. Yeah.
Ella's not better because she knows when to be quiet, and she's not distant just because she's being quiet. Yeah. Okay, so I asked what older people should know about you, but here's the other thing. When I think about young people, it's easy to lump you all together. Like, oh, you're a 15-year-old, so you speak for all 15-year-olds. But that's not true. You're Ella. Mm-hmm. And Carissa, you don't speak for all 10-year-olds. You're just Carissa. So, Ella, what do you wish other 15-year-olds knew about you? Not just old people, but as peers, we all have things that are like, this kind of makes me me, and I don't know that other people see that or know that. So what do you wish people your own age knew about Ella?
Well, I also tend to lump people my age together.
Okay.
But I would
And
say,
you're just the unique one.
Yeah,
They're all the same.
That's what I think most of the time.
Yeah, no,
Like,
they all do too. Don't worry.
Yeah, I wish that they knew that I like genuinely like school,
Yeah.
because I think most people assume that teenagers don't like school, but I like it.
Yeah. What is it that you like?
I just enjoy learning and discussing books and ideas, and I don't know, it's just fascinating and fun to me.
See what I was going to guess? You can maybe try this on or tell me I'm totally wrong. I was going to guess you like school because you're good at it.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Because I see in you somebody who's good at school. Like, you're good at learning. And even if you don't necessarily like learning, it feels good to do something you're good at.
Yeah, I think to me, the way most people would view a sport, of like, they're good at it, it brings them pleasure, and they do it regularly.
Yeah.
So
maybe there's in some level of competition and recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say that, and I see that in you because I think that was true of me. Like, I tell people now, like, I was good at school, like, which is different than saying I was smart. I was good at school. Like, I knew how to play the game, and I could do it well.
Yeah.
So, all right, Carissa, what do you wish other 10-year-olds knew about you? Maybe they see you or they see things about you, but they don't know what's going on inside always.
I don't know. Again, like, it seems like I tell people like a lot of things, like, so.
Your sister's laughing at you right now, Carissa. Do you know why Ella's laughing at you?
Not really.
Because she talks?
From my perspective, she says a lot.
She says a lot. Carissa's like, I'd let people know a little bit about what I'm thinking and feeling. And it's like, she doesn't stop talking. So, Carissa, if you were to meet another 10-year-old girl, as soon as we're done recording the podcast, we leave here, and she says, hi, my name's Juliet. And you'd say, hi, my name's Carissa. What would be like the first thing you told her about yourself?
I don't know. It seems like I don't really tell people one thing. I just start like talking.
Just start going and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Stream of consciousness. Ella's confirming the words just flow. No plan. All right. I love it.
I like it.
Let me kind of wrap up, giving you two a chance. Is there anything you want to ask Shane or me about ourselves, about adulthood, about recording a podcast. I don't want to interrogate you the whole time. Is there anything you've ever like, if I ever had a chance, I'm going to ask an adult this, or I'm going to ask him this?
Any tips for time management?
Time management. Shane and I talk about this a lot, actually.
Yeah, we do.
Time management. My biggest tip is a perspective I got from a book a number of years ago. It's called, I think, 168 Hours. Laura Vanderkamp or something. I can't remember her name. But she had the perspective that when we say, I don't have time for something, what we're really saying is it's not a priority. So I try to be very careful. I don't talk about not having time for something. I try to say that's not a priority in my life right now, because it's really disempowering. I feel helpless if I don't have time for something, and I feel empowered when I'm choosing, no, that's not a priority for me. And her example was, she said, like, if you ask me why I don't dust the blinds in my house, I don't have time. But if you paid me $100,000, I'd have time to dust the blinds. And like in her life, her water heater broke one time, and she had a full week, but she had to do this. Like, so for me, recognizing that priority, what matters most, there's always time for. So the hard thing is not fitting it all in. The hard thing is choosing what matters and then owning that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
So the hard thing is not fitting it all in. The hard thing is saying, I can't do everything. What matters to me? That was more of a philosophical answer to your question. Shane, time management tips.
Could you say the question one more? Like, how do you...
Just, have you found anything that helps managing your time?
Yeah. So you've got so much more of a logical explanation.
No, we're different.
Yeah, I know.
Use a calendar.
Use a calendar. I mean, I think in some ways it's okay to say you don't have time for everything, like what you were saying, like where are your priorities and how do you make time for everything. But I also have found out through, I don't know, being a music major and a musician working at a church, like, you can make a lot of time for everything, but it's the stuff that is really important to you that will find its time. And we've also talked about, Pastor Dan and I, depending on what you want to make time for, you have to be intentional about planning to do it.
Scheduling things is good.
Yeah, really scheduling things to do it. Like if it's something that you don't think you're gonna do but you want to do, like writing it down and committing yourself to it has really helped me. And also just you always say or you're just saying I'm always tired in the morning and low on energy, which is very true. But in some ways, it also starts with sleep. If you want the energy to do it, you have to take care of yourself to get it done.
and Shane and I squeeze hours out of the day differently.
Yeah.
So we have an overlap of when we're awake, but Shane gets a lot more out of the nighttime, and I get a lot more out of the mornings, and that's okay. So I don't think there's you got to get up at 4 a.m. to do everything. You can, or you can stay up till 2 a.m. Or you can, so kind of know thyself.
Yeah.
That's Socrates. Yeah. All right, Carissa.
I hope that, answered.
No, it was good.
Open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for a couple of grown-ups or a couple of old guys or a pastor or a church musician?
I don't think so.
That's allowed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about... Oh, Shane, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I still have... I feel like I still could have questions, but I don't want to eat
I know. I want to keep hearing from them, but I also know we're over an hour. Yeah. Do you have any questions? So here's something I've heard, that especially people who've left the church, they felt like their church wasn't a spot where they could ask their questions. I don't know if we necessarily have time to get into specific questions now, but I'll ask you, do you feel like this is a place where you could ask either hard or scary or personal questions?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it is.
Cool.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, that's important to me. I want you to know, I want to say that explicitly. Your Sunday school teachers, your pastors, the staff here, your parents, sort of nothing's out of bounds, even if it's like, I think I'm supposed to believe this thing, but I'm not sure if I do, great. Let's have that question.
And I guess it's with that to making sure that like you have a space to ask the right questions, but also a space where you feel like you're able to, I don't know, feel comfortable to ask that. With that, besides your parents, are there any adults you'd love to just shout out like on the show, like that are, I don't know, that are important to you at this church, or maybe further than this church, that that are kind of role models for you in your life, or that they've been good influences to you in your learning?
So we have a goal at St. Luke's that every young person who comes here has at least 5 adults who aren't related to them or paid to relate to them, who care about them, know them by name. And so if I can jump in just to say, we care about you having those adults, and you could tell us I don't. You could tell us I do. You can give us a shout out who some of those adults might be.
The Storks have been. I really like them.
There's multiple generations of the Storks.
Okay. Miss Becca and Mr. Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Carissa, what about you? Who are some adults around here who care about you?
I can't really think of any now. Like, I know there are a lot of people.
All right. Would you be comfortable, do you think, if I said, hey, are there adults who care about you? If the answer was no, would you be able to say, yeah, I don't think I have any? Or would you feel like he wants me to say yes, I should probably say yes?
No, I'd be
Could you be honest?
saying no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Ella? Are you able to be honest?
Yeah, I would say no.
Okay. Same thing with my question before. Are you able to ask your questions? If the answer was no, would you be able to be honest?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure, like,
we're not making you guys
I don't want to be like that would make me really sad if people had questions but didn't ask them, but they felt like they should have been safe, or I don't actually have adults in my life, but he thinks I'm supposed to, so I'll smile and say I do. All right, so you got the Storks. Any other shout outs, Ella?
Ruth and Michael Harrell.
Yeah. Did you meet their new baby yet?
Yeah, I saw it on Sunday.
She's going to get baptized on March 3rd. So,
Aww.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Shane, what's one thing you learned either about Carissa or Ella or all the young people they speak on behalf of? Just kidding.
Well, I think this is stuff I might have picked up about you guys, but just being able to sit down and talk about it has really helped. I like that you guys really do that I don't know. You're not settled where you are in life, as in you want to learn more, you want to actively engage not only learnings but activities, just hearing you talk about debate and kind of just your learnings and want to, and then Carissa also just how much you love to express yourself in art. I love that. It just reminds me of Pastor Dan and I. I don't know.
We're different?
No, we're different, but also you're just very logical and really good at learning more in life, and I love expressing myself in art.
Yeah. I like that we can be different people. I think that Shane and I work together and we have the same Christian faith, and yet we're very, very different. And that's okay. You girls, at least on paper, are from the same family. We still wonder where Carissa came from. But you can be the same household sisters and still be like, this other person is strange, and love them, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm thankful for how each of you is a unique person, and I'm thankful that we get to know each other. So thanks for being brave, by the way, ladies. This was not a small thing to come in and sit down and record a conversation, or even just to have a conversation with the grown-ups. Besides, this is a podcast.
And congratulations to Carissa. You're the youngest person to be on 2414.
Oh my goodness.
Besides Mafusa's.
An infant in a stroller in the corner doesn't count.
Okay, yeah, they didn't have a mic.
Yeah. And if Carissa wasn't here, Ella would probably be the youngest.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like the Super Bowl last time. There's like the guy who kicked the field goal in the first quarter. It was the longest field goal in Super Bowl history till like the next quarter. It's the longest field goal in Super
Now
Bowl
it's
history.
the new one.
So the guy held the record for like 12 minutes. It's really sad.
Put it on your resume.
So he might have now the record for the shortest time holding a record for the Super Bowl.
yes. Yeah.
Maybe. All right. Carissa, Ella, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Shane, thanks for taking time.
Well, thank you as well.
And listeners and viewers, thanks for being part of the conversation. Find the people in your life, even if you've been living near them or bumping into them over and over again. Invite them over for coffee. Invite them over for cheesecake ice cream or Oreo cheesecake, and just say, I would love to get to hear your story. And you can start with silly questions like, where were you born? Do you have any pets? What's your favorite ice cream? And you might get to some stuff that really, really matters. And if not, you might learn a few things about their dessert preferences, which is that's a win too. All right, signing off for now. I'm Dan. That's Shane.
Hey.
Catch you next time.
That's the end of the episode, but we want to continue the conversation. Continue the conversation by sharing this episode, subscribing, or leaving a review. Connect with us on Instagram at 2414podcast. Connect with us through email at 2414@stlukes-church.com. Or best of all, keep the conversation going by inviting someone to process with you so that you can each walk away with more understanding that leads to more conversation as the journey continues. If you happen to be in the Seattle-Tacoma area of Washington, stop by on a Sunday morning and say hi. 2414 is a podcast produced by St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Federal Way, Washington. To find more content, discover upcoming opportunities to connect in person, or to support the show, head on over to stlukes-church.com. Thanks for walking with us.